the Al-Islam meme, that we consider that as a miracle, right? Our community has agreed upon that it's not unclear, it's just a miracle.
Well, no, your community does agree that it's unclear. Your community, as you affirmed, says that we don't know what this means. It's a miracle, so we don't even bother to try to know.
That means it's unclear.
It's unclear.
But they came to a conclusion it's a miracle.
And you don't know what
so
it means.
it being a miracle doesn't change the fact that it's unclear, right?
No, it's a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle that's unclear.
Yeah, so you can't just put miracle in front of something that's illogical, right? So let's say you try to bring up like a logical contradiction in the Trinity or in the Bible or in our faith. We can't just say, oh, it's miracle, so therefore it's solved. That's not how miracles work, right? Otherwise, anyone could use that principle to solve any argument, and then no one can really argue with anyone.
Welcome to the podcast, man. How you doing, bro? We're blessed by the Lord. Tell us, man, were you born a Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay, you were born into Islam, and you're.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off. What's the topic of this? Like, because I can usually tell by the YouTube video's name, but like this time it just said join.
Yeah, well, I was just about to bring one up.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so really, I want to just start off by asking you, give me like one thing that convinces you that Islam is true. What is it that for you is the biggest truth for Islam that convinces you to stay in it and choose it?
From like other religions, or just leave other religions out?
Just you in particular. Yeah, you in light of Islam, why Islam is the actual truth? Because let's say other religions are false. That doesn't necessarily mean Islam is true. How do you know Islam is true?
Okay, so I know you don't believe this. I believe our book is perfect.
Okay.
And the main reason is like, I believe for God to be perfect. So if God's perfect, he would not send a manual down without any doubt, like having any doubt in it or any mistakes in it. That's just one. But like,
but there are mistakes in the Quran.
Oh, we're starting off strong, you know.
That is a strong one.
So really what you're saying is that, well, it sounds like he's saying that the Quran is like, it's so pure that it has no
Mistakes.
doubts. Are you saying no mistakes or doubts? Because I heard doubts.
you can say both.
Okay.
And then I have one more reason.
Okay, we'll get to the second reason. So we'll do one at a time. Okay. So does anybody want to comment on that? He says that the Quran, it's true because as far as it's pure, free of mistakes.
I think one problem with this is, and we've all talked about this before.
Yeah.
There seems to be an affirming the consequent fallacy, and I've said this on Logic's live stream as well, right? So it's almost like saying the Quran is like free of contradictions. The Quran is like this or that. So it's like saying, if the Quran is free of contradiction, then the Quran is true. The Quran is free of contradiction, therefore the Quran is true. So this is logically fallacious. It's like saying, if P, therefore Q, Q therefore P. But this isn't how logic works. It's like saying, if the room is dark, the light is broken. Or sorry, if the light is broken, the room is dark. The room is dark, therefore the light is broken. But obviously that doesn't necessarily follow from that. Yeah. So I don't think that would be a good proof to show you that Islam is necessarily true.
The Quran makes this argument. Surah 4, Ayah 82. If this book is from other than Allah, antecedent, you will find many contradictions in it. Consequent, how do you prove that it is from Allah? You prove B, the consequent, that it has no contradictions. But that doesn't follow. Yeah. So that's a big mistake in the Quran right there. Your God doesn't know logic.
All right. So
God makes a fallacy himself according to that, which God couldn't do.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just make it simple so that he can actually have something to respond to. So he's saying that there's no mistakes in the Quran, therefore it's true, right? That's one of the reasons why he believes in it, and there's no reason to doubt it. Yeah. You guys are saying that actually within the Quran, Allah commits a logical fallacy with a challenge that he presents.
Yes.
Okay. And so with him saying that, if this book has no contradictions or inconsistencies, then it's not from Allah. Right. You're saying that that's a problem?
Yes.
Yeah, precisely. Because ultimately, right, the way that the fallacy works is that if you have this is supposed to be the consequence. Okay. The problem with that way of thinking is this is fine. If I say, if I'm in the castle, then I'm in the city. That makes so much sense. That's fine. But just because I'm in the city, it doesn't mean I'm in the castle. Right. It doesn't follow at all. So when the Quran makes the point that if this is other than Allah, then there will be a contradiction. That's fine. If it's from God, there shouldn't be a contradiction. That's fine on its own. It's when they say that because there's no contradiction, therefore the Quran is from God.
Exactly.
You're taking the consequent,
And
the
you're-
thing that's supposed to come
to
about
prove the antecedent.
to prove
Yes,
its
yeah.
cause. That's the problem.
So what do you think about what they just said, Muhammad? Go ahead and respond. I want to hear your thoughts.
So he said you can't just go off of like if there's not a contradiction, that means it's true, right?
Right,
Basically,
correct.
yeah.
Doesn't follow.
But that's just one way of it. And then what was the other thing he said? The last guy to speak.
I'm saying, okay, Muhammad, can I talk to you? If that's okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you said that one of the reasons why you believe that Islam is true is because the Quran does not contain any contradictions or inconsistencies. Is this correct?
Yeah, just one of them. Yeah.
Okay. My point is that this very argument that the Quran makes is illogical.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a flaw in reasoning.
Why?
Because you can't use just the fact that there's no contradictions in it to make it that it's true. Case in point, could someone hand me those pack of sweets? Okay, see this, right? This pack of sweets doesn't have any contradiction on it, okay? Does this mean that it's from God? This pack of sweets?
No, it doesn't.
There's
What was
nothing.
the question? Does it mean it's from God?
Yeah, this pack of sweets has no contradiction. It's it's rainbow candy. Does this mean that it's from God?
Yo, it is from God.
This is not like divine
No,
inspiration.
obviously, God is
Obviously,
the
God made
source
it,
for
But
sustaining
you understand what I mean when I say that this is from God.
Yeah.
Is this like divine revelation from God?
Oh no.
Okay.
Exactly.
So just because something doesn't have a contradiction doesn't mean it's divine inspiration. Okay.
So yeah, that was just one way, but it could be. For sure, it could be if you
I don't
compare
think
it.
it could be.
No.
I don't think anyone thinks, "Rah, this has
No, I'm not talking about nerds. I'm talking about like
Yeah, but the thing is, right, when it comes to the claim that
it's just one criteria. That's all.
we're saying it's not a criteria at all.
At all.
It's insufficient, completely insufficient.
Why?
because it doesn't show you anything.
It doesn't prove it.
Well, if anything, it's a positive proof against the Quran, right?
Yeah.
Because if God is making an argument for his scripture from the Quran, yet he makes a logical fallacy in that argumentation, and we know that God cannot make logical fallacies because God is not an illogical being, then that would mean that the Quran is false if it makes a logical fallacy. But the argument put forth here is a logical fallacy. So what you've just said, in fact, falsifies the Quran.
Indeed.
No, look, it was just a point I was making. Like for a book to be the truth, can't have no mistakes in it. That's all. That was just one point of it.
Yeah. Okay. So.
But that's okay. Even then, right? Let's say you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
with that, we agree. Like we said, the statement, the light is broken, therefore the room is dark, is fine, because that's true. The same statement, if this is from Allah, you will have no contradiction, that's fine. But the problem is that Allah's making a claim, he's making an argument. So then what follows is, how do you prove that it's from Allah? According to Allah, you prove there's no contradictions. Now, that argument, the same way then if I say, with the first example, the light is broken, therefore the room is dark. The room being dark doesn't then mean the light is broken. In the same regard, when you say there is no contradiction, it doesn't prove that it's from Allah. And this is why Allah's own argument is actually fallacious. You can go on your phone right now, look up affirming the consequent. You'll discover it's a logical fallacy formally. And you'll come to understand. I might draw a little...
just draw the
So I
fallacy.
can't. So you're saying nobody could use that point of criteria to prove their book is the truth?
Because the problem is look, the problem is
I don't
that's
see.
the effect of it. It's not a proof of it. For example, right? If I have a son, my son will be Nigerian. Just because there's a Nigerian baby, that doesn't mean it's not my son. That kid is not my son. Okay? Now, the point that Ananda, when he finishes with the whiteboard, is going to show you is that if A is true, B is also true. Just because you have B doesn't mean that A is true.
Exactly.
So what we're trying to ask you is hey, if the Quran is from God, then there should be no contradictions. That's cool. If we ask you to prove how the Quran is true, you can't appeal to its lack of contradiction. That's just an effect of the Quran, apparently.
Yeah.
Show the whiteboard.
So show the
Right.
whiteboard, right?
So when we go from A, that's the antecedent, to B, that's the consequent, okay? We can affirm this. We can say, like I said, if A, the light is broken, then it does follow B, the room is dark. But if we do B to A,
Exactly.
the room is dark, therefore the light is broken. Well, that's not a necessary inference. It doesn't have to follow to be the case. The light could be turned off. I could have took the light bulb out, could have no power in the house. Any other inferences or entailments could be there. In the same regard, a book without no contradictions, phone books have no contradictions, my notes have no contradictions, Lord willing.
Exactly.
So, these things don't matter. And you might appeal to the fact that humans make mistakes, but that's going to be a universal claim. And in particular instances, humans can make works without errors.
Yeah.
So it's very important to know that when Allah says A, If it's from other than Allah, that's the answer. So then B, you'll find no contradictions in it. And that's true. If you had a book from God, you should expect no contradictions in it. The problem is it's a claim that's meant to prove something. The claim B is supposed to prove something. So they use B to get A. And that's where the fallacy comes in, because it does not follow. And so this is a major flaw of the Quran. And we find even just one, that's the challenge, just one. That's all. So yeah, that's my explanation for you.
So I think we agree to disagree, but can I ask you something on
Agree to disagree.
Wait, but
This is
you actually have
logic.
to interact with
Yeah,
what he
you have
says
to-
rather than just
Jesse,
disagree.
bro. Like, no, I'm gonna get Black Doctor. What do you think I'm gonna say to this? Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is logic.
Right.
Like, show me that.
Yeah. So again, the point is, like, for example, as we've already said, lack of having a contradiction is a portion of what we would expect to see if it's from God. But simply not having a contradiction in something, which again we would protest, it's not a proof that it's from God.
Yeah.
It's not a reason to prove that it's from God. Again, as we've said, a phone book doesn't have a map.
So do you agree?
Anything like that? And you could literally burn a book, and that book doesn't have any contradictions because it's ashes. That doesn't mean that it's divinely inspired.
And the thing is, when you want to say, bring the camera, Muhammad, Muhammad, let me just make something clear. This thing that we're telling you, it's a fallacy of logic. Do you get it? You have to understand. You have to understand that this is an agree to disagree point.
Yeah.
It's either true or it's not.
Like,
Okay?
would you agree that your God is a logical God? He's not illogical.
Oh, you're asking me a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, logical, definitely.
Yeah. So then when we find a logical fallacy in his work, alleged work, we shouldn't we ask the question why? We can't just throw away logic, because if we throw away logic, you become unreasonable. And you know what no one has the reason to do? Believe in your worldview. If I just say to you, believe in the Trinity, why? Because I said so. That doesn't really get us anywhere, does it? There's no reason for you to ought to believe me. And if you say explain the Trinity and I say I can't, but Allahu Alam bila kayf, I can't explain it, but you just believe it, you're not going to say why should I believe something you can't explain? The same regard, if you don't want to engage in logic, then you're just refusing to give any reason why anyone, even yourself, ought to believe in your worldview. You have no reason right now to believe in this.
A claim which can be
So
without
if my book had a contradiction in it, right? Would you agree to say, yeah, it's false?
Yeah, I'm saying that the actual logical form of the argument proves the Quran false.
Even at that.
No. Let's just say we open up the Quran right now, and I could agree. Let's just say you bring up something, and I'll be like, yeah, you're right. There's a mistake in there. Does that make it false on your end?
Yeah, logical fallacy can. God is the grounding and cause of all logic. If God makes logical fallacies, it's not written by God.
Yeah.
So if there was a contradiction in the Quran, that means the religion is false, right?
Sure, but even if they didn't have a contradiction, wouldn't make it from God. That's the point.
Point though. That's just one point.
It's not okay. Essentially, it's not even a point because anyone can do it. You need to show me something only God can do.
Yeah, it is by definition a non sequitur.
But let's do it this way. If this is a a qualifier for him,
Sure.
let's
go with his argument.
Let's go with it.
Let's go with it. We've touched on it.
Yeah. So you guys did an amazing job on showing how even that it's not even just bringing up a verse, but the challenge itself contains a logical fallacy would be a problem.
Exactly.
You guys did a good job. But so now let's go now with him. His thing is, no, like if there was a contradiction, then the book would not be from God. That's your position, right, Muhammad?
Yeah.
Okay. So this I do have a problem. I think that there's some people that can bring up things that are not could be vague, it's not clear. But I believe that I've seen a contradiction, a few of them. One of them, I mean, there's no way out of this. It's clear as day when it comes to, the Quran saying. Now, this is what I do. I when I read the Quran, I look at what it says on a particular topic, multiple verses. I see what it says in totality. Because, some verses can interpret others and we can get the whole picture. This, there's no way out. You know what I'm saying? So if you have do you mind if I show you?
You could, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
He's so nice. He's a keepy tee. That's fine.
All right, so I'm gonna put a verse on the screen. And I'm gonna just show you. I'm gonna show you a few verses that say the same thing. Okay, just a few, so that you can get the idea. Because I want to make sure that we're not misrepresenting what the Quran. So if we go to chapter 6, verse 114 of the Quran, and this is what it says here. Let me share my screen, man. What we doing? Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, by the way. If you guys forgot to do that, you guys know what you're doing behind the closed door. So don't Don't out yourselves, all right? Do not out yourselves. Hit that like, share the live, all of that.
Hey, come on,
Right?
man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on now, dog.
All right, here we go.
We're just gonna read, man.
We're just going to read. So this is chapter 6, verse 114. Can you see it on the screen? I'm going to make sure.
Yeah, I can see.
All right, perfect. So this says, all right, shall I seek a judge other than Allah, while it is he who has sent down unto you the book explained in detail. Now that's what we're going to be paying attention to. The book explained in detail. All right, we're going to read the whole verse though, just to give it justice. Those unto whom we gave the scripture know that it is revealed from your Lord in truth. So be not of those who doubt. So pretty clear verse, right? It speaks for itself. The Quran is explained in detail, right? And people know that it's from the Lord. Allah's the one who sent it down. Understood it so far?
Yeah, let me just read the second sentence real quick.
Sure. Right.
Those,
Those unto whom we gave the scripture know that it is revealed from your Lord in truth. So be not of those who doubt.
All right.
All right. So the Quran is explained in detail. We understand that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna show you one more verse that says the same thing. One more verse that says the same thing. This is chapter 12, verse 111. Very last verse of the chapter. Chapter 12, verse 111. All right. So this is what it says here. Indeed, in their stories, there is a lesson for men of understanding. It, the Quran, is not a forged statement, but a confirmation of Allah's existing books and a detailed explanation of everything, and a guide and a mercy for the people who believe.
Yeah, so same thing, right? Yep,
same thing. Now this one says it's detailed about everything, right? So it's going to go in details. It explains it, right? Boom.
Basically.
So this is what the problem is. So we see the Quran is consistent. I can show you a few more other verses, but it's pretty consistent. The Quran is explained in detail. Boom. All right. Now let me show you the verse that brings a problem with this. Okay. Go to chapter 3, verse 7. Here's the contradicting verse. Chapter 3, verse number 7. All right. Make sure we're zoomed in here.
But right now you're trying to show me like if there's a mistake now, right?
Yes. Now I'm showing you the contradiction, the mistake here. All right. So it says, it is he who has sent down to you the book. In it are verses that are entirely clear. They are the foundations of the book. All right. So there are verses that are entirely clear. Those are the foundations of the book. And others not entirely clear. So there are some that are entirely clear. There are others that are not entirely clear.
About books?
No, about the Quran itself.
Okay.
So it's talking about the Quran itself. So in it, right? So when we begin right here, right? In it, so in the Quran, in it are verses that are entirely clear, right? And those are the foundations of the book. Okay. Then it says, and others, so other verses that are not entirely clear. So as for those whose hearts there is deviation, they follow that which is not entirely clear thereof. So the ones who are deviant in heart use the unclear verses to try to follow after, seeking disbelief, seeking for its hidden meanings. But here it is. But none knows its hidden meanings save Allah. So only Allah knows the meaning of these unclear verses. Okay, they're not detailed.
Yeah.
All right? And those who are firmly grounded in knowledge, they say, we believe in it, the whole of it. The whole of it is from our Lord. So they don't even know it. They just affirm that it's from God. They don't know it. Only God knows these meanings. And none receive admonition except men of understanding. All right. So this verse says that there are some clear verses, while there are verses that are unclear. While we saw 2 verses in the Quran that said that the Quran is detailed and explained and is a detailed explanation about everything.
Right.
What would you say is, what's your definition of unclear? Or you could show me an example.
Well, so if the Quran mentions something and it doesn't go into detail about what it's talking about, then it's not fully detailed. Like, so for example, there's we got a few of them here, right? We got a few of them.
That's the problem.
Yeah, here, even if we don't go to our sources, we could just go to Quran.com. And Quran.com actually explains the verses in the way that we would interpret them.
Yeah. I thought the Quran was meant to do that.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Literally, there's a footnote on this verse on Quran.com, and it says, the precise verses are easy to understand and deal mostly with matters of belief and practice. As for the elusive verses, their full meaning is known only to Allah, such as the meaning of letter combinations at the beginning of some surahs, Alif Lam Mim. and how Allah settles himself on the throne. The Quran is not clear or perfectly detailed on those.
Man al-arsh al-istiwa.
Yeah. So we see here, so there's certain things in the Quran that, it's pretty clear about, right? It's pretty self-evident, or, it's clear in the verse. But there are other things that are in the Quran that you don't get, has missing details in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if you want to say something, go ahead, Muhammad.
The Alif Lam Mim, that we consider that as a miracle, right?
Okay.
How?
We don't consider that as like Allah left us without a meaning, and now we have to figure it out. We don't even bother figuring it out.
Wait, so you don't bother figuring out what the Quran means?
Because is
there content? Okay, because is there content in the Quran that you can't access?
Content, like, what do you mean? Like something like a ruling?
Like when we do like philosophy of language, right? A word is going to point out a specific thing in reality.
A signifier.
Yeah, it's going to signify something, right?
Words have meaning.
Yeah, so words clearly have meaning. So you saying that in the Quran, God is revealing some words which don't have meaning. They just don't signify certain things in reality.
Yeah.
Because how could you
said it?
Okay, let me make it even simpler. Give me,
Wait, hold on. Sorry, guys. To keep it simply, because to focus on the argument, he's saying that that's a miracle. We don't even bother to try to know what that means. But that's not the point. Does the Quran tell you what that means? Is it detailed about Alif Lam Mim, for example?
I don't think so.
Right. So that would be an example of an unclear verse, a part of the Quran that's not detailed, right? Which means
go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. So that would mean that the Quran is not detailed and explained. It's not a detailed explanation of everything.
Right. That's a contradiction, by the way.
Yeah, that's the contradiction.
I wouldn't agree with that, because majority of scholars have agreed upon that, like, it's a miracle and we'll only find out when we die. But it's not like
That's fine.
That doesn't change. That doesn't change the fact that it's a contradiction.
Yeah, of course.
It's not a contradiction, because a contradiction would be this: Alif Lam Mim, and they explain it. Let's just say in the first sentence, it'd be like, oh, it means God is the greatest. Let's just say that, right?
Okay.
And then you go down 3 chapters later, and Alif Lam Mim comes up, and it says, no one will ever know what Alif Lam Mim means when they die. That's a contradiction now, because you just told me what it meant, and now you're going to say it means something.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Can the Quran have unclear verses while at the same time be a detailed explanation of everything?
But I don't see that as unclear. You see what I'm trying to say? If it was unclear, then you're right, 100%. But our community has agreed upon that it's not unclear; it's just a miracle.
Well, no, your community does agree that it's unclear. Your community, as you affirmed, says that we don't know what this means. It's a miracle, so we don't even bother to try to know.
That means it's unclear.
It's unclear.
But they came to a conclusion it's a miracle.
And you don't know what
so
it means.
it being a miracle doesn't change the fact that it's unclear, right?
No, it's a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle that's unclear.
Yeah, you can't just say.
I don't think it's unclear. Unclear would be like if you gave me a meaning. Well, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. So you can't just put miracle in front of something that's illogical, right? So let's say you tried to bring up like a logical contradiction in the Trinity or in the Bible or in our faith. We can't just say, oh, it's miracle, so therefore it's solved. That's not how miracles work, right? Otherwise, anyone could use that principle to solve any argument, and then no one can really argue with anyone.
Heck, every Christian right now would do it. I would do it right now.
Exactly.
Why not be a Hindu at that point and just say, how are there 99,000 gods? It's a miracle.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this easy for you. Can you see that? Okay.
You can read. Yeah, I see it. Everything.
Okay. So this is basic. I tried to make sure I didn't put any notation. This is what GodLogic is saying to you. The Quran is a detailed explanation of everything. So everything in the Quran is detailed. Everything in the Quran is detailed. Then you have something in the Quran that isn't detailed. You're not supposed to have that. So if you have everything being detailed, but then you have something which is part of everything that isn't detailed, you have a problem because you're supposed to have everything detailed according to the verse.
Hey, yo!
That was not meant by me. I didn't promise you. I didn't see that. I don't know how to soundboard here. Okay.
Headshot.
But you get the point, though. You understand the point, right?
I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, I understand 100%.
So just because it's a miracle is irrelevant. It's a miracle that's unclear.
Yeah.
You understand? It's an unclear miracle because you don't even know what the miracle is.
That just makes it worse because now you.
No, I agree. I don't know what it is. Yeah, we don't ponder on it. We just know it's a miracle and we move on.
Can you ponder on it?
Right.
There's no point of pondering on it.
I know this. Like, for example, there's no point of me going to Scunthorpe. I don't need to go to Scunthorpe, right?
What's that?
Scunthorpe is a random village in England. I don't need to go there. Can I, if I wanted to? Can I? Yes. Cool, great. And I could go to Texas as well, but there's no point in me doing it. Can you access this information? Can you know its clarity?
We know it's a miracle.
How?
Can you know anything detailed about it?
Well, let me ask. No. How do you define a miracle?
No,
let's not even get to that. Whoa,
he already gave it up.
Yeah, he said that he doesn't know it.
So if you don't know it, you can't know it, then it's unclear and it's not detailed, right? The Quran doesn't detail that. However, the Quran says elsewhere that it is a detailed explanation of
Everything, yeah.
So if there's something in the Quran that's not detailed, then that means there's a contradiction.
Exactly.
But okay, I understand what you're saying. Are you done? No, I'm listening to you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
If you want to respond, go ahead. Please.
See, it also says like to go to the me, I'm a novice, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to like the scholars and stuff. So it also says go to the scholars when you don't understand anything, right?
Okay, hold on with that point. The verse addresses that. Remember, if we read in chapter 3, verse 7, the verse we have the problem with. I'll put it on the screen again. It says that no one knows the meaning of these. No, none. Not even the scholars. Look.
None except.
Yeah, they don't. 100% they don't.
So then you can't go to the scholars to give it detail.
But they agree upon something to clarify it for the community. And if they didn't clarify anything and then you say it's a miracle, oh man, we don't know, it might mean this, it might mean that, then you're 100% right.
Muhammad, that doesn't clarify nothing.
Yeah, you can't.
They're just in consensus that this is unclear.
Yeah.
They've clarified that this is an unclear verse. We won't know it. Only Allah knows it.
Yeah, that's like, imagine if like the whole science community of the atheists said, well, we don't know how the universe was created. Would that mean that God didn't create the universe? Of course not. I don't care. I'm going to say this very clearly. I don't care about the consensus of individuals if it doesn't harm my point. My point is not on whether it's a miracle or not. My point is on whether I can understand it. Yeah. And so long as there's one thing, just one thing that you don't understand, you have a problem. You understand that, right?
I'm listening to you.
Right. Yeah. So could you address that?
Yeah.
If you hold that up for him,
just like you do.
I'm definitely going to go back to my people and try to get a little more educated on it. So and hopefully I can join your chat again.
So if you look at that whiteboard there, right, it says everything in Q. So let Q stand for Quran, right? Everything in the Quran is C, clear. There is something in the Quran which is not C, clear. So it's like saying, if I was to say everyone in the room, so let room stand for Q there, is 6 foot. But there is someone in the room that is not 6 foot. Those two statements contradict each other. The same way that one there contradicts each other. So using that same logic, we can derive a contradiction from the Quran.
You know, I could do this in interpretive dance as well if you want. Like we can make this
fine. That's fine. I definitely. How you guys do these chats every week?
I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday usually. But I'm gonna be. I'm out of town right now, so this is next week. Next week I'll be back on schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, bro.
Are you in San Diego?
I'm not in San Diego, but I'm on Cali time.
Okay. All right. I'm guessing you guys are gonna move on. Can I before you guys move on, can I ask like 2 questions?
Sure,
man. You earned it, man. You was polite. You've been respectful.
Yeah. A round of applause there.
Thank you. All right. I don't mean to get political, right? But
come on.
Ask that question. Can I just please ask that question?
All right, go on.
A political question?
Yeah.
They say it's political, but I just feel like it's human rights.
And there we go.
We do theology, man.
Yeah,
no. It has nothing. I know it has nothing to do with religion. I just want to see where Christians stand on it, and I'm not asking you to give me my answer. I just want to know.
All right, go ahead.
I stand with the martyrs and the innocents, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I stand with.
I can ask it.
Are you asking about Palestine?
Yeah, no. I was gonna give you. Can I just ask? And if you don't have to answer, you say I don't want to answer.
Go ahead.
So obviously, it's not just Muslims getting killed, right? It's Christians, it's Catholics.
What's the percentage of Christians you think?
Who cares? No, I
don't think it's very high, right? I don't think it's very high at all.
They're my brothers and sisters in the Orthodox Church predominantly as well. I love them. I pray for them. I hope they're well. I hope all the people who are disaffected by this conflict are well, find peace in the Lord.
Yeah.
And I hope that those who don't have peace in the Lord find it.
Amen.
I want everyone to be Christian there. I'm not gonna
I just wanted to know because I feel like it's just an opinion of mine. I just feel like they're not standing up enough. You know what I'm saying? like your channels, because you guys have channels.
Yeah, well, we're not politicians with
I know. That's what I said. That's what I was saying. It's you know.
And we've already come out theologically saying that everyone there should like seek solidarity in Christian organizations.
Yeah.
And
yeah, pushing it at the beginning of your video, at the end of the video, and you know, it makes it a little more heard.
So here's what we would do.
Not my priority.
It's not number one, it's not a priority. Number two, what we would push is for every single one in any of the regions in the Middle East to become Christian.
Yeah.
Which is what we always do all the time.
And remember, like, you're not
about religion right now, just about
stable. Go on.
I was gonna ask him, so like, are you upset that Muslim YouTubers don't post about Christians being killed in Nigeria?
No. Yeah, I'm upset about the Congo too. They're doing it in Congo too.
Can I ask you a question? Should they be doing more? Because as a Nigerian, I couldn't go to the north of Nigeria because my family would have not existed anymore. Okay. Should Muslim YouTubers have done more to promote the slaughter of my people in Nigeria? Should they have done more?
Oh, yeah.
And it's still going on. Okay. So okay, fine. So we need to clean up our house and we will help you clean up your house as well.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
No. My point is not saying stand up for the Muslims. I'm saying stand up.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that the oppressive regimes and systems that are across the world are sectioned off politically, in which we interact with them. We show solidarity to everyone suffering in the world. It's not particular to a case. Right now, I'm helping my people in my home country because it's my home country. You understand, right? Of which I understand every single Palestinian that has relatives in Gaza needing to support them. Because, of course, everything's getting carpet bombed. I understand that.
Yeah, my best friend's aunt passed away in Palestine only a couple months ago from lack of healthcare. Believe me, I love them. My heart goes out to them. And the Lord, like I'm saying, give them rest and peace and blessings.
Amen, of course.
All right, guys, we got to move on.
Amen.
But hey, Muhammad.
Yeah.
We're live. You know, I'm live weekly. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can pop up anytime, man. You've proven that you're respectful. You can have discussion. So I like that, man. Mm-hmm. We need more people like you, dude, honestly, because a lot of people come here to combat instead of...
I'm not going to lie. Before, like, you had those YouTube videos, I would go off in the comments just to get put on. When I get put on, I would have been nice. But I'm not going to lie. I used to do that just to get attention. But this time
Shout out you, bro.
But now I know I won't do it. But yeah, for sure, I'll be looking.
Good. All right. Take care of yourself, man.
God bless.
God bless.